Hello, and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called What Exotic Sports Cars Cause the Most Divorces. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our free channel. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up and a lot of breaking news stories. So make sure that you click on the notification bell so that you can be notified every time we post a new episode. I would also like to tell you about a service called HollywoodIsCalling.com. It allows you to purchase live phone calls from your favorite celebrities, so give it a try. There are more than 100 celebrities to choose from, and the calls begin at just $19.95. So give it a try, HollywoodIsCalling.com. Now, let's get started. Have you ever wondered which exotic sports cars cause the most divorces? Well, we took a very scientific poll, and we're going to reveal which cars are capable of causing these divorces. Actually, we're just kidding. It wasn't a very scientific poll at all. We just reached out to a bunch of rich friends who drive exotic cars, and we got some anecdotal feedback and advice from them, and their recommendations for which cars cause the most divorces and which sports cars cause the least divorces. So that's the background. Now, just to be clear, it's not the cars that are actually causing these divorces. It's the way people behave when they see them, when they drive them, and when they attract the kind of people who like these particular cars. So remember, you can cause a divorce regardless of what kind of car you're driving in. But with some cars, we have noticed strange things happen when people see them. Their brains start to backfire and they start to do things that they wouldn't ordinarily do under conventional circumstances. So just beware. And don't be confused. Not all super expensive cars cause a divorce. You can drive a Rolls Royce or a Bentley or some of the other expensive cars, and nothing happens all day long. Nobody flirts with you, nobody smiles with you, nobody tries to give you their number, nothing. It's interesting how that can happen. You can drive a Cadillac all day long and not elicit a single marriage proposal. Maybe it's because they're just too common, or maybe they don't ooze that same sexuality that a lot of the exotic sports cars do. Who knows? But that just happens to be the cold hard truth of it. For some reason, when you drive these exotic sports cars, strange things can and will happen. I've had friends who got into their high-end Lamborghinis or Ferraris, and then they'll have women pull up to them at a stoplight and propose to them. Other women will ask them to adopt them. Sometimes people will pull up next to you and throw their business card into your window. I've had one friend who was chased by a woman for 10 minutes, and when he refused to pull over to stop and listen to her, she pulled behind him at a red light and she tapped his rear bumper with her front bumper, and then she got out and she insisted that he take her number. So another thing that can happen when you drive a supercar is that everybody smiles at you, especially if you're single and good looking, or they're single and good looking. You'll get smiles all day long. And if you have a convertible sports car and it's a nice sunny day, multiply everything I just said times 2. You get treated like a rock star everywhere you go. When the top is down and the sun is shining, the weather is beautiful, it just amplifies this sort of behavior. Convertibles just cause people to light up like a Christmas tree, especially if they're single, and oftentimes even when they're not. So what kind of cars cause this sort of behavior? One of them is the Lamborghini. Actually, any Lamborghini. It can be 20 years old. It can be 5 minutes old. The color doesn't matter. It's just the styling of these Lamborghinis. They cause temporary insanity in people. I've seen people spot a Lamborghini, get out of their car, they run over to the driver of the Lamborghini, and they insist that they take their number. This is not rare. This happens a lot. So just be mindful of that. Now, in some places, it'll also attract a lot of homeless people begging for money, but generally speaking, it's mostly single women. What's funny is that the woman doesn't have to be a stunning supermodel. She can be a morbidly obese, 200 pounds overweight for Frankenchick, and, and they'll still pound on your window wanting your attention. It happens all the time. I've seen women with babies in their laps pulling up at a stop sign, hop out of the car, run over to your car with the baby screaming back in their car, and they insist that you take their number. So this nonsense happens. Now, the next type of car that causes this effect is the Ferrari. People love these cars. You can pull up to a $200,000 Ferrari and park it right next to a $200,000 sports car made by another brand, and people always migrate to the Ferrari. They just have a magnetic effect on people. Here's a car that surprised us. The new Corvette is so stunning looking that it attracts almost as much attention as Lambos and Ferraris. That's the power of great styling and design. The Corvettes just look amazing. So what do you do to avoid getting a divorce? Well, no matter how good looking the person flirting with you and your car is, just ignore them and keep driving. Better to take your spouse or the person you're dating with you on a joyride just to keep the predators away. Remember, the cost of a divorce is always going to be more expensive than you ever thought possible. And in some states, it's deadly expensive. Getting a divorce in California, you're better off getting decapitated accidentally by a surgeon because your life is never going to be the same. Accidental surgical decapitation is probably far more desirable than getting a divorce in California and some other states. They're just so biased against men, it's unbelievable. So with that, I want to thank you for watching. I want to tell you that we're going to have more great celebrity interviews and more breaking news stories coming up. So make sure you subscribe to our free channel and you click on the notification bell so you can get notified every time we post a new story. With that, I want to thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye-bye.